Chapter 1. The Whisper in the Data. The rain hits the glass of a 44th floor window in Midtown Manhattan. It's late 2006. The rest of the city is asleep. The streets below are quiet, bathed in the dull orange glow of streetlights. But inside this room, an associate at a major investment bank is staring at a monitor. He is looking at a column of numbers that shouldn't exist. He scrolls down. Then he scrolls again. He rubs his eyes, hoping it's fatigue, hoping it's a glitch in the software. Because if it's not a glitch, everything he knows about the global economy is wrong. The data he is looking at tracks something incredibly boring. Mortgages, home loans in places like Florida, Nevada, and Arizona. For decades, a mortgage was the safest bet in the financial world. People pay for their homes. They always pay for their homes. Except right now, on this screen, in the dead of night, they aren't paying. The defaults are ticking up. Slowly, quietly. A fraction of a percent here. A fraction of a percent there. It doesn't look like a catastrophe. It looks like a rounding error. But this analyst knows something the rest of the country doesn't. He knows that the entire global financial system, trillions of dollars, entire pension funds, the wealth of nations, is currently balancing on top of these exact mortgages. He leans back in his chair. The silence of the office feels suddenly heavy. He realizes no one is coming to fix this, because the people in charge don't even know it's broken. How did we get here? How did a few missed house payments in the American suburbs almost destroy the modern world? To understand that, you have to stop looking at the numbers. You have to look at the people. Chapter 2. The Incentive Machine. The sun is glaring off the dashboard of a leased Mercedes in Miami. It's 2005. Behind the wheel is a mortgage broker. We'll call him David. David used to sell used cars. Now, he's making more money in a month than he used to make in a year. He pulls up to a newly built, sprawling suburban house. Inside is a family who, on paper, has no business buying this home. They have no verified income. They have no assets. In the banking world, this is quietly referred to as a ninja loan. No income, no job, and no assets. 10 years ago, David would have been laughed out of a bank for trying to get this family a loan. But today he has a pen in his hand, sliding a thick stack of papers across a kitchen counter. Why is David doing this? Is he a criminal? No. He's just following the incentives. David doesn't hold the loan. He doesn't care if the family pays it back in 10 years or 10 months. He gets a massive commission the moment the ink dries on the paper. The family signs. They think they are achieving the American dream. They believe the house will double in value next year because that's what the news keeps telling them. David takes the paperwork, shakes their hands, and walks out the door. He's already thinking about his next client. But what happens to that piece of paper? The promise that this family will pay back $500,000? It doesn't stay in Miami. It gets bundled up, put on a plane, and flown directly into the heart of Wall Street. Chapter 3. The Alchemy of Risk. Imagine you have a box of apples. A few of them are rotten. If you try to sell the rotten apples, no one will buy them. But what if you take the rotten apples, mix them with a few good ones, slice them all up, bake them into a pie, and put a shiny sticker on the box that says, "Grade a premium dessert." Suddenly, everyone wants a slice. This is exactly what Wall Street did with David's terrible mortgages. They took thousands of risky loans from people who could never pay them back. They bundled them together into massive financial structures called collateralized debt obligations, CDOs. It sounded complicated. It sounded mathematical. It sounded safe. But beneath the sophisticated name, it was just a giant tower of debt. Here is where the psychology of the crisis gets truly dark. The banks couldn't sell these massive towers of debt unless someone officially declared them safe. They needed a stamp of approval. They went to the credit rating agencies, the gatekeepers, the institutions trusted to warn the world about bad investments. The banks walked into these polished, quiet boardrooms, handed over bundles of toxic, rotting mortgages, and asked for the highest possible safety rating, AAA. The same rating given to United States government bonds, and the rating agencies gave it to them. Why? Because the banks were paying the rating agencies. If one agency said no, the bank would simply walk down the street to a competitor who would say yes. The gatekeepers were being paid by the people they were supposed to be guarding against. Nobody stopped it, because everyone was getting rich. The broker got his commission. The bank got its fee. The rating agency got its cut. And the investors, pension funds in Norway, school boards in California, retirees in London, they bought these toxic pies. completely unaware that the apples were poisoned. Chapter 1.5. The blindness of brilliance. You might be asking yourself, how did the smartest people in the world not see this coming? Walk into any high-end restaurant in Manhattan in 2006. Listen to the hum of conversation, the clinking of glasses, the men in tailored suits ordering $1,000 bottles of wine. These were not stupid people. They had degrees from Harvard, Yale, and MIT. They built financial models so complex that only a handful of humans on Earth could understand them. But intelligence is not the same as vision. When you are paid millions of dollars to not see a problem, your brain becomes incredibly good at ignoring it. There was a profound psychological denial at play. It was the belief that the system was simply too big, too complex, and too profitable to fail. The models said housing prices would only go up. And when reality started to disagree with the models, they chose to believe the models. It's an uncomfortable truth about human nature. We don't believe what is true. We believe what is rewarding. And the rewards were staggering. Until they weren't. Chapter 5. The bill comes due. September 2008. The weather is unusually warm in New York. But inside the glass walls of Lehman Brothers, the temperature has dropped to freezing. Phones are ringing off the hook, but no one is answering them. Men and women are staring blankly at computer screens. Some are crying quietly. Others are packing cardboard boxes with family photos and desk plants. The Tower of Debt has finally collapsed. The family in Miami missed their payment. Then their neighbors missed theirs. The CDOs became worthless overnight. The banks that held them suddenly realized they had billions of dollars in losses. And because every bank was connected, because they had all bought and sold these toxic assets to each other, no one knew who was bankrupt and who was safe. Trust, the only invisible currency that actually keeps the financial world moving, simply vanished. The ATMs almost stopped working. The global credit system froze. The consequences were not confined to Wall Street. They rippled out into the real world, fast and violently. Factories shut down. Small businesses locked their doors. Millions of people who had never heard of a CDO, who had paid their mortgages on time, who had done everything right, suddenly lost their jobs, their savings, their homes. The people who built the bomb walked away with their bonuses. The people who lived in the blast radius lost everything. Chapter 6. The lingering shadow. Years have passed since that terrifying autumn. The global economy was placed on life support. Trillions in taxpayer money were injected into the system to keep it breathing. New regulations were written. Politicians gave angry speeches on television. The dust eventually settled. But take a walk through those same financial districts today. Look up at the glass towers. The names on the buildings might have changed. The acronyms for the financial products might be different. But the underlying machinery? The incentive to package risk, to obscure reality, to chase short-term profit at the expense of long-term stability? That machinery was never dismantled. It was just upgraded. The uncomfortable truth about 2008 isn't that a group of bad people broke the system. The truly terrifying realization is that the system worked exactly as it was designed to, and the people who understand how it works are still the ones designing the future. The lights are still on inside the trading floors. The screens are still glowing. And somewhere, deep in the data, a new set of numbers is quietly ticking up, waiting for someone to notice.